Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about the big print. What happened to America and how sound money will fix it. As you'll find out, the next big print is imminent. Big print is a good book by Lawrence Lepard. It was published in early 2025 by Lawrence Lepard. The core argument is the problem is that money is broken, the broken monetary system, and how to fix it. And that's how we go over it. The, the title follows one of the Big Short, a book by Michael Lewis. Also a really great read, and also the movie done after that book. The problem: they seize control and placed in the hands of a few central bankers. They put money in control of a few central bankers, and that has led to all these problems. They attempted to establish this central bank twice before, famously in 1836 under the United States, but the president stood up for the country, understood the danger. Andrew Jackson: Gentlemen, I've been too close observer of the doing of the Bank of the United States. I have had men watching you for a long time, and I'm convinced you have used the funds to speculate in breadstuffs of the country. When you won, you divided the profits amongst you. When you lost, you charged it to the bank. You tell me that I take deposits from the bank and annul its charter. I shall ruin 10,000 families. That may be true, gentlemen, but that is your sin. Should I let you go on, you will ruin 50,000 families. And that would be my sin. You are a den of vipers and thieves. I have determined to rout you out, and by the eternal, I will rout you out. Andrew Jackson took control and routed out the vipers in 1913. He was not there to rout out the vipers, and they took control. 1913 traces the origins of central bank on Jekyll Island, and that's when the centralized system took power over money. This was bankers infiltrated the government and its policies. So Executive Order 1602 is when Franklin D. Roosevelt forbade the hoarding of gold coin and gold bullion certificates. So pretty much made it illegal for all citizens of the U.S. to hold real money. And this was the second thing. First, to take control of the money. Second, made it illegal to hold real money. Section 9. Whoever willfully violates this provision, executive order, and regulations, or any rule, regulations, or license thereunder may be fined not more than $10,000. Back in those days, that was the real sum of money. So first it was made illegal, and then they entirely decoupled it from the gold standard in 1971 with Nixon shock. Nixon orders a 90-day wage price freeze, asked tax cuts, new jobs plan boards, and severs the link in dollar and gold. So it took a while. Well, it took 70 years or maybe 60 years, and they cut the tie entirely. So this allows unlimited money printing and unsustainable national debt, and the dollar became a fiat currency. It was backed by nothing but the good faith of the U.S. government. So now, after this, there's a hidden tax of inflation. Argues that money printing erodes purchasing power. So, as it describes, fertilizing the rich man's field, the sweat of poor man's brow. So now there is a hidden tax, a hidden inflation tax. So, and for that, so now there's approximately 7% money inflation since the, and approximately 7% deflation due to technology. So the true inflation is probably closer to 15%. So use the rule of 72 that we learn about and invest in. So approximately 6 years, every 6 years, the purchasing power is cut in half. So that's equivalent to another income tax on top of the one we already pay, but the hidden tax, so it's much more sinister. So comparatively, our purchasing power is going down by approximately the Big Mac index. So whenever you think of this, so this was a bit off, but it probably is equivalent. So from 86 to 2012, approximately 25 years, with 175% increase in just the Big Mac prices. So not only did it double, it probably went up 4 times. Not 4 times, 2 times. Well, double, you know what I mean. Well, compared to what they tell you, it's 110%. So what they tell you is actually price has doubled. But what happens, it actually went up 4 times. So what is the solution to this? A return to sound money, the second half. The solution focus on restoring economic stability through principles of sound money. So, as you all know, money is a ledger. So it's governed by nature or energy, as Bitcoin, rather than fiat, which is no backing, rather than the good face of the U.S. government or whatever government you happen to reside in. So sound money protects your purchasing power, and then you'll see the true deflation of everything around you. It also recommends a saving strategy, saving in gold, silver, and Bitcoin to protect what he calls from the big print accelerated currency debasement. Optimism through technology is next thing. Despite all the warnings of impending monetary crisis, Lepard suggests a much better technologies. Suggests that new technologies would return to sound money principles could lead to a much better world. So that's the whole basis. Now, don't be a doomer. Be a and don't be a doomer, and be hopeful that things will be end out better for the world. So deflation of prices, everything end up having greater purchasing power, and saving hard money, your hard-earned sats go farther. So it's a classic guide already, only 1 year old. Classic guide for the understanding of current monetary crisis in layman terms. And then he predicts $5,000 gold, $100 ounce silver, and Bitcoin targeted $200,000 as the pressure continues and executing the big print. So two of these already came true. Already seen $5,000 ounce gold, 100,000 or $100 ounce silver. The next is the 200,000 ounce or $200,000 per Bitcoin. And they're going to find some reason to print. Probably going to be here. Yeah, if it's not the US dollar fails first, it'll be the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen is long overdue for a trend reversal. The consequences would be many, but investors in the US should be aware that repatriation of these funds, chasing the higher rates the other way to Japan, would be a significant change of flows. I do not believe this market needs a catalyst for anything at all, but this has been proposed at least possible one over a year. The simplest theory is that Japan higher rates and U.S. rates in the U.S. would hurt stocks and bonds in U.S. Much opposite circumstances help stocks and bonds in U.S. So as we see, Japanese hold 342 trillion Japanese yen of U.S. bonds. That is in 3.42 approximately trillion US dollars. So that's a lot of capital there. That's 1/10 of US national debt, approximately held by Japan. So if this money is starting to flow out of the Japanese yen and back into hard assets like gold and silver to start, and Bitcoin next. If you found anything what I'm saying valuable, feel free to zap me, andrerisval.com, or like and subscribe. Thank you.